was ridiculous. 10 minutes passed. The security agent still hadn't given him any explanation about the delay. The 3 men who'd been talking when he first sat down had moved off, and now a woman was watching him. Rose glanced at Sheila. She was still sitting in a chair as well, talking loudly to the agent that was watching her, waving her arms. This was turning into a nightmare. Rose stood up. The plane was pulling back from the gate in 15 minutes. If they didn't get out of here now, they wouldn't make the flight. "Sit down, sir," the agent who was watching him ordered sternly. "Right now?" "I'm going to miss my plane," Rose said calmly. "I'm going to Europe. I've got to be at a meeting in the—" "I told you to sit down," the agent said loudly, striding toward Rose. "Do it now." "Would you please just tell me what's going on?" "All right, that's it." The agent waved to several men who were posted by one of the metal detectors. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "What? Are you crazy? I haven't done anything wrong." Seconds later, Rose was pushed face first to the wall by 3 burly agents. They cuffed his wrists tightly behind his back, then hustled him off toward the ticket counters. Chapter 1. Present Day. "My God," Rose murmured. He'd been off in another world, thinking about that day 5 years ago when he and Sheila had been arrested at Dulles Airport. Thinking about how deeply it had affected his life, how it had shaken his faith in his government, how it had taken a year to get to the truth behind what had happened. Amazing. David Cortez glanced up, following his boss's line of sight. Cortez had been about to pick up his beer off the smooth, dark wood bar, but stopped with the chilled glass halfway to his lips. "Jesus," he said softly, with a hint of a Cuban accent. Rose tried not to stare, but he couldn't help himself. He'd spent an entire career keeping his nose an inch from the grindstone, doing the right thing, shunning the temptations that were constantly swirling around him as he climbed higher and higher on Trafalgar's corporate ladder. Now, in an instant, this. She's perfect. "Yeah, she is," Cortez agreed. The young woman sat on a tall stool on the other side of the bar, a glass of champagne on the napkin in front of her. She was keeping 2 young professionals in sharp suits and bright ties occupied without even trying. Both of them were doing everything but juggling to get her attention, but she was playing them off against each other beautifully. Touching their arms lightly, smiling at them demurely with her full, glossy lips. It was an incredible smile. She was an incredible woman. "I need to meet her." Cortez turned toward Rose. "Easy, Mike," he warned. They'd worked together since Rose had been promoted to chief financial officer, and they'd gotten close after a lot of late nights at the office, after a lot of Chinese takeout, a lot of black coffee, a lot of goodnights to the kids over the phone, and a lot of guilt. More than anyone else, Cortez knew how vulnerable Rose was right now. "We're almost to the finish line. We've got to stay focused." But Rose kept staring. Mid to late 20s, he guessed. Old enough to be worldly, young enough to be impressionable. Not from or with money, either. From where he sat, that engagement diamond on her left hand looked like a microchip, less than 1/3 of a carat, probably closer to a quarter. And her low-cut blouse was straight off a rounder rack at Sears. He watched as the man who he assumed was her husband cut aggressively between the 2 professionals and kissed her. Watched her react with a kiss of familiarity, a kiss devoid of passion. Watched the 2 suitors fade into the crowd, disappointment etched into their expressions. Then felt disappointment sink into his own chest, which was surprising and frightening for several reasons. "Yeah," Rose agreed quietly. He'd heard about this happening. Everyone had. The lightning bolt. He just never thought it could strike him, especially now when he was on the lookout.